Hi, I'm Congresswoman Mary Miller here today with Coach Joe Kennedy. And thank you for coming, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me in your house. This is beautiful.
Well, you're welcome. And I was excited for you to be able to share your story with some more people. I've been following you for a couple years and I've heard you interviewed several times. And I just think, wow, if the American people would do what you did, is to be informed on what their rights are and to be willing to fight to retain them, and the way you did. So why don't you tell our guests a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, well, so real bad childhood. I'll start from the beginning. Very bad childhood, in and out of group homes and foster homes and stuff like that. Kind of bounced around the system. Found a way out through the Marine Corps, and that's where I found my love for my country and what the Constitution really meant. Because when we raise our right hand and we swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, it gives me the chills. I mean, even to this day. And it really became something special to me. It was the first time that I've been, it's been bigger than myself, and I belong to something great. Well, after that, when I was getting out of the Marine Corps, I met up with my childhood sweetheart. We got married, I got saved, and God kind of jumped into the middle of it and said, I want you to start coaching football. Which led down an interesting road that I prayed after every football game. No big deal, 15 seconds, sometimes with the players, sometimes without. And in the 8th year, we got a compliment from another school district, which led to an investigation, which led to a big fight between myself and the school, especially the school district lawyers. And we were talking with the superintendent, who's still a good friend of mine, the school board. I coached their kids. I mean, this is a tight community, but they're lawyers who have their own agenda, which I didn't know. I thought these people ran the school district, but it's not, it's lawyers. So they said that I needed to choose between my faith and my job, because I would not give up praying on the football field after games, which led into...
And it was a 15-second prayer.
Yeah.
And no students were compelled or...
No.
You didn't even really invite them. They came and asked to participate.
Right. They asked, and I said, it's a free country. You guys can do whatever you want. And then when they said stop praying with it, that's where we took it a step further. When they said stop praying with the kids, I did. I complied. So this ended up where they said, well, if you could be seen in public, you could be terminated. That's where the big rub was. And it just, the First Amendment is pretty clear to me. The freedom of speech, the free exercise, the freedom of religion, those are very clear. And yeah, I could have prayed anywhere, but it wasn't the point about that. It was a state entity telling a citizen where they can and cannot pray, or how to pray. And that's where we had the rub. It turned into an 8-year legal battle, lost 7 times in a row.
Wow, 8 years.
Yeah.
And that was very stressful on you and your family, I'm sure.
Oh, more than you could possibly know. We almost got divorced over it.
Wow. Well, praise God that you're still together and that you won. And, you know, what an inspiration you are. I think that your movie's called Average Joe, to people that think they're, you know, ordinary citizens, average Joes, that, you know, everybody has a place to, you know, get informed and to get involved and to stand up to make our country great again. So what would you like to say to people that fear intimidation to even maybe admit who they want to support in the election, or put a sign up, or they're afraid they'll get fired at their job for revealing, you know, who they are?
And isn't that an interesting thing in the times that we're living right now, that people are afraid to just share what they believe in, even if it has nothing to do with religion? Just putting up a sign for a certain candidate could cause trouble in your neighborhood. To me, that seems so ridiculous. So I just tell everybody to stand up and do what's right. It's the simplest thing. And you only need this much faith. I have this verse that's tattooed on my arm, 2 Timothy 4:7. Fight the good fight, finish the race, and remain faithful. Nowhere in there does it say that we have to win that fight, because God's already won that battle. But we are Americans, and we all have the same freedoms. Nobody is higher than anybody else. So please exercise your rights and be proud of who you are and your beliefs.
So what is the implication or the consequences of the Supreme Court ruling in your favor for for average Americans.
Yeah, which I didn't understand because I only asked for two things. I asked to be reinstated as a coach and to be able to pray after after games. Now they granted that, the summary judgment. That's what I won. However, the court took it a step further to clarify what the First Amendment actually means. If you take a look back to probably 50 years ago, there was a case called Lemon versus Kurtzman. And anybody who wants to look it up, it's boring. But that's where we started taking religion out of everything in the public square. So there's been 7,000 cases between the 50s and today that they've ruled against religious liberties just because of this case law that's been there. So the Supreme Court took a look at that and said, this is not right. We need to fix that. And they explained that the First Amendment works with the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. Those work in parallel instead of opposing forces like it originally was. So it removed Lemon, and that is dead. 7,000 cases are now can be overturned.
Wow.
Where you had the Ten Commandments in places and they took them down. You could put them back up. You see Louisiana, they put them up all over the schools again. And that's just amazing. But that's what the freedom is now, is that we do have the freedom to exercise our religious beliefs in the way that we see fit and not according to the way the law of man is trying to design it.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being courageous and for setting an example for all of us. And I just want to tell everybody to carry on, look for those opportunities, and don't be afraid. Thank you so much.